Guys, welcome back to the Booth 2K. And are the Cowboys back to playing erratic football? I didn't say erotic, I said erratic. What a what a game. What an unnecessarily tough game against the Texans. Wow, that was embarrassing. It makes you look at the Colts game a lot harder now too. They blew them out at the end, but it was really close going into the fourth quarter. And now you're starting to think, is this a trend? Are we lucky that we're playing such lousy teams? We got a better team. We're going to play a better team Sunday that's on a hot streak. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit more about this game against the Texans. It seems like I say it every week. Kellen Moore is not good at his job. Are we back to passing all the time now? Did they even have any running attempts on that first drive? I know they scored a touchdown, but that set the scene. Passing, passing, passing. You got to save Dak from himself. He's got a lot of interceptions this season for a guy who hasn't played all season. He's not taking care of the football. That interception at the end, that looked like the nail in the coffin, right? Thank God the defense came through and Houston screwed up with their play call. Quarterback ran the wrong way. That was a big help for us. Hell, I thought he was going to get in anyway there for a second. But the defense came through. But they didn't have a great game either. But I want to talk about that non-running game that's happening again. It's just way too much passing. And I feel like he's such a kid. He's got that little kid mentality where he's like, okay, I'm going to run it. Because probably his head coach is in his ear telling him. So he runs the most predictable running plays. At the time, when they went for it on fourth and goal after the Diggs interception, they should have kicked the field goal for one thing. But they ran it, and everybody there knew what play they were going to run. There was no mystery. And naturally, it got blown up, and it didn't work. Coaching's got to get better. This is terrible because we're in December. Colts game now not looking so good. This game does not look good. I know that at the end, I'm going to give Dak credit for taking him down the field at the end. That long drive, I think it was 96, 98 yards, and won the game. But let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. He's part of the reason they had to have that long drive at the end because of the dumb turnovers. I defended Dak a lot of times. This game was awful. He's not making excuses, though. I'll give him credit for that because a lot of people do. A lot of other players will do that. But he takes ownership of his own faults where he screws up, and he screwed up. But it wasn't just him. We had drop passes. Just all around. And I'm going to go back to Kellen Moore. Just horrible game plan. Just terrible. Let's just run the ball. Let's establish that. We lose our identity. We don't have an identity again at the worst possible time. Look what the Niners are doing with a backup quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Purdy, that looked really good against Tom Brady. He beat Tom Brady in his first time out, which the Cowboys have never done. And they lost Deebo Samuels. He'll probably be back for the playoffs, but do you want to play the Niners? Do you want to see a team like that in the playoffs? I don't. So does that mean we need to go to Tampa Bay? Do you want to play Tom Brady? I don't care what happened last Sunday against the Niners. I don't want to face them. Especially with this team who is losing their identity if they had one to begin with. Injuries are setting in. They don't take teams out. Teams like this, you're supposed to put away and let a lot of your players rest. You got to avoid those injuries. Still, the young man from Texas Tech having a great season. coming into his own, he's gone for the season. For the rest of the season, we've lost him. We got help on the way. We could be all right in that spot. You know, with Peters and Smith coming back. But only time will tell. You know, continuity is a good thing on the offensive line. That makes a lot of difference. It's you know, it makes the difference between winning and losing week in and week out. I'm pissed about this game. It was unnecessary. The game before that was unnecessary. Just bad all around. The defense looks like they didn't come to stop the run either, because they got ran over. They played two different quarterbacks, and this supposed Doomsday 4 didn't look like Doomsday anything. They look like shit, honestly. They got to have the stomach for the fight every week. They got to commit to stopping that run. Because if a low team like the Texans, and they are not a good team, can score that many points on you, what's going to happen in the playoffs when we're playing good teams, consistent teams? You know, you look at Philadelphia, they are consistent. They're playing really good when it counts. I've already mentioned the Niners. When it needs to happen, they're here to play. So I don't know what's going to happen. You know, they're having a good season. Don't get me wrong. They've won 10 games this season. At the beginning of the season, I had them winning 8. I had them going 8-9. I'm wrong. Thank God. Because I am a Cowboys fan, but I am a realistic Cowboys fan. And I don't like what I've been seeing the last couple of weeks. Guys, there's only 4 more regular season games. And one of them starts Sunday, this coming Sunday in Jacksonville. And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the Jaguars are playing to get in the playoffs to win their division. They can overtake Tennessee, who they just beat Sunday. Man, they're full of piss and vinegar right now. They got confidence. Trevor Lawrence looks like he has arrived. A team like that, you got to punch him in the mouth right away. You gotta create doubt. Don't give them confidence, because we can lose over there in Jacksonville, and we can't afford to. Their coach, Doug Peterson, former Eagles coach, he knows these players. He knows Dak. He knows the Cowboys. That makes things even more difficult up there. Dallas signed T.Y. Hilton this week, and that's a good signing. I'm happy with that. I know he's older, but if he can come out, you know, play a little, maybe get us some first downs here and there, and more importantly, instill some confidence in some of these young guys, share some of that wisdom, like I believe Peterson's done on the offensive line. They can't fuck around and find out up there in Jacksonville, because it could happen. I'll look for them to get refocused. You know, I say stuff like this all the time. And a lot of times they prove me wrong. That's just the nature of being a Cowboys fan for the last 27 years or so. It's just bad. And I said this last week, just because they've been bad and have done everything that guys like Stephen A. Smith say they're going to do cowboy things, an accident waiting to happen. You don't got to follow the script, guys. Change it. It's up to you. I'm not going to defend you against these guys. I'm tired of having my team get their ass kicked like last year against the Niners, and then I got to pull for someone like Aaron Rodgers, who lost to him, to do my bidding. My team needs to do the talking for me. I talk the talk. They need to walk the walk. They're the ones making the millions. I love this team. And that's why I get so emotional. They got to win Sunday. They need a good, solid performance. Special teams, Turpin, that was a big screw up. But he's one of those guys. That's probably his first one this season. But it happened. So we'll give him a little break, give him a little pass. Just because that happened doesn't mean they should have scored a touchdown and the offense go into hibernation. That didn't have to happen that way. Before I say goodnight, before I say go Cowboys, I want to give send out my condolences to the Mike Leach and his family, former Texas Tech coach. Hell of a coach, very innovative. Passed away yesterday, I think it was. But I just want to say rest in peace, Mike. And guys, we'll talk later in the week. Let's go Cowboys. No matter what, when it's all said and done, we back those Cowboys. We represent the star. All right. Good night. Let's go Cowboys. Let's take care of those Jaguars. One game at a time.